Hey there, lovely. It's Gracie here once again. We have a saying in my country that goes, "Webale webale amalevintu," which literally translates to a person that normally says thank you after you've done something good. They normally capture your heart and you keep giving them. I hope I'm going to capture your heart so you subscribe to this channel. That encourages me and motivates me to create more good content, and thank you very much. Well, guys, in today's video, it is something that is interesting that I wanted to actually talk about. I stumbled upon this video on TikTok and oh my god, it captured my attention. And me, as a person that has been hearing conversations around Black people and saying we need to take action, our governments needs to take action about certain things that are going on, but they have not been doing anything. Hearing something that is like this in the video that we are going to watch, it makes me excited to hear. It only tells me that now we are becoming even more stronger to resist and stand our ground and stop everybody that has been doing any sort of things that are illegal, people that have been disrespecting us as a continent. But why talk a lot? Let's watch this video together. I want you to let me know what you think.
Tourists from Europe are being kicked out of South Africa. Well, kind of. Let's quickly break it down. 2.6 million tourists visited South Africa before the pandemic started. 77%, about 2 million, were European and North American, basically from the USA and Canada. Most tourists who come to South Africa are granted 90-day visas. These visas can be extended should the tourist wish to stay longer. However, on the 21st of December 2023, Home Affairs released a statement that said if your tourist visa is not extended by the 23rd of February, you need to get out of the country before the end of the month. The tourism industry is absolutely freaking out about this. But for the first time in my life, I think I'm actually on the side of Home Affairs on this one. And I'm going to tell you why. Based on my personal experience of working for a German just last year, the experience left me wondering if the German people who come here are the equivalent of a Nigerian crime syndicate, but only at a corporate level. He starts businesses here in South Africa, which as far as I know, he's not allowed to do. But he uses a woman as a human shield when things start to go a bit tough. None of these businesses that he starts is registered in his name. In fact, they even started a fake law firm, which wasn't even registered as a business, nor was it registered at the LPC. Two of the pensioners who worked for them suffered tremendous financial loss of almost 700,000 Rand in unpaid salaries and commission. He pretended to buy not one, but two properties, which he never delivered on. He moved in before registration of these properties took place. He caused about 900,000 Rands worth of damage to the first seller and almost 400,000 Rands worth of damage to the second seller, causing only 4 South Africans that I know of between 2 and 2.5 million Rands worth of damage. In business meetings, this guy would praise Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. He has a motto that South Africans are South African weak, meaning that you can steal from them, you can damage them, you can harm them in any way you want, and we'll just take it on the chin. We are too nice to take action. The problem with a guy like this is that the only reason he came to South Africa was not his love for the people. He came here because he thought that this is a lawless country, and this is where you come when you want to get away with bad things. And so far, he's right. There's only been inconveniences, but no action has been taken against him. I say send him back first. I'll see you soon.
First of all, disclaimer, I have no problem with tourists because even like considering my own country, this country receives 1.5 million people per year and it contributes 7.7% to our GDP, so it helps our economy and really contributes a lot, which I feel like in this case South Africa gains a lot. And again, I am not saying that all tourists that go to South Africa are criminals. No, they are people that just want to go for vacations and enjoy their lives. I mean, like really take a break from the stressful environment, or really they are just adventurous and they want to go and see what happens out there. So with that out of the way, the only problem I have it with people that think Africa or African countries are shitty holes. So anybody can go wherever they want to go, like to any country in Africa, and stay as long as they want to stay, and think like African countries are lawless, like they don't have laws that govern their countries, or at least you can actually get away with being in the country illegally and doing stuff and starting businesses in this country illegally. Or, like stay however much you stay, disrespect anybody and call them weak. I have a problem with that because we don't do that when we go to their countries. And I feel like if we don't do the same thing to you, why do you have to come to our countries and do that? In my country, we have a saying that goes serwa jokota asinza na nyinimu entanama, literally translating to like a person that you normally welcome and be friendly with them. If they overstay their visit, sometimes they become bossy and they start to tell you exactly what to do. They start bossing you around. Before you know, you have no home anymore. Like they become the boss of your own home, which is exactly what happened even during the colonization. They came and extended their hands as friends, manipulated our leaders into signing agreements, and that is how our leaders lost their powers. And then because of that, our people got sold. Because of that, our resources got looted. Because of that, so much land was lost, like a lot of wealth, a lot was lost. Those of you that know these things already know. So I guess you see the problem that I have with these people. I don't want us to be that weak, to be quiet and be silenced simply because maybe this person looks different and you're like, oh, like, no, I feel like it is our time to actually speak about these things. And I want to applaud everybody that normally puts content out here to, like wake Black people and tell them, hey, you need to take action. You don't need to let people take advantage of you when in fact they are doing this in your own country. They are literally stepping on you and you're being quiet. So I want to tell you, like, this information normally don't just stop on the internet. This information sometimes circulates and goes to our leaders. Some things that we normally forget is all of us are leaders. May not be leaders that sit in those high positions, but we are leaders. We can lead with our own voices. That is why whatever you put out here, you never know where it's gonna end. You just keep putting it out because we've been quiet for a long time, and because of that, everyone has looked at us as weak, as people that can't speak for ourselves, as stupid, so anybody can take advantage of us. But according to this guy, like there are some German people that come to South Africa and they begin, like they start businesses, they register businesses not in their own names, mind you. They start businesses even when they're not supposed to be starting no businesses in these countries. And mind you, they register these businesses in other people's names. You imagine, how can you open a law firm in a country that does not belong to you? How can you make pensioners, like people that are working for you, lose millions and millions of money and you are comfortable? They do this because they feel like they are above the law and nobody's gonna touch them, of which I know somehow it has been true. Some of them have been reported, but cases get messed up with, like people mess with these cases, and just like that, evidences are lost. And another thing, since businesses are not registered in his name, how are you gonna know like it's him? Where are you going? Like they literally make sure that the evidence that link them to what they are doing in this country, like they are hidden, they cannot get them. So because of that, you imagine it's not just them disrespecting the country and the laws, but they are using people like our own people in the systems or in the country, and they get them in trouble. And once they get them in trouble, these people end up in prisons and they don't get helped. Yet the people that made them do all of these things are these very people. Some of them take the gaps that like African women are interested in foreign men, so they manipulate them into starting their businesses with them, lying to them that they are going to be like partners. But the reality is this person is just a business person and is only doing his own thing. I'm only imagining if things really don't go as that person expected them to go, and then they be deported to go back on their country, only for you to realize this person was only playing on your feelings. Again, you might be like, no, you have no evidence. I've heard stories, of course, rumors and stories of people that come to this continent, different countries. Their visas expire and they decide to stay on the continent. I am not trying to say that Africans are very innocent, because I know there are a lot of people, African people, that are on the other side of the world that are really hustling and trying to really make it. However, that is still a different case. These people, wherever, when they come from the West and come to the continent, the treatment they receive, like they are treated as princesses and princes, kings and, queens. But our people, if you are discovered that you are overstaying, oh my god, you will be deported. You'll be labeled criminal, like you literally be put on the list of most wanted. But most of these people, they're not put on the list of most wanted. That only tells you how unserious they see us as a people, when we are busy pampering them and praising them and treating them as king. They treat us as ace ht. But worse still, like they come to this continent, use resources that are supposed to be for nationals illegally. And when you talk to them, they have the audacity to disrespect you and call you weak. I know you would be asking yourself, why would these people even choose to go and stay in Africa? Like, because Africa in the media has been portrayed as, that dark continent where kids have, popped out stomachs and starving kids everywhere. But these people get the worst shock of their lives when they make it to the continent and they find how beautiful cities like Johannesburg, South Africa in general, like it's developed, the infrastructures, like everything is really, really good. So some of these people, when they come and look how beautiful it is, they are aware, they're like, oh my god, it looks like I can actually have a comfortable life over here, and I don't need to really worry about the law. Some of those people are even probably criminals from wherever they are coming from, and they are running away from their own countries to come in Africa, where they're not going to look for them. And imagine them realizing it is beautiful. It's not as bad as it used to be portrayed. There are so many cities in South Africa that when you look at them, you can literally compare them to, New York or any city in the West. They have all the necessities you will ever require in the West. So you like, and plus how people welcome you, how friendly people are. Like, why do I have to go back into stress? That does not guarantee you to violate the law and disrespect people in their own countries. South Africa has a policy like you cannot stay in their country for over 180 years. You can only extend your visas twice. So if that one expires, your second time expires, you have to leave. You have to be termed undesirable. And I loved that term because when we go to their countries, they term us undesirable. But not just undesirable. Where in the West are you going to go and marry a woman and then you start a business within 3 months or in whatever amount of time? Like, there's no place you're going to go in the West and they're going to allow you to establish, register businesses and you start operating in that particular country without being a citizen, like a legal citizen, or without having a working permit. These people normally don't even acquire working permits. They go behind the law. This just shows you how they just see these countries as nothing and they can do whatever they want to do. Matters worse, even their visa system, like for us, when we want to go to their countries, oh my god, they might give you something like 3 months for you to go for an interview after paying lump sums of money. That's when you have to go and get an interview. And even when you get an interview, chances are you're going to be denied and you lose all that money. Everyone would have stayed on this continent, but maybe some people just be looking for better opportunities there out there to come back and better this continent. Like you spend all that much and then you be denied. It just comes after squeezing you a lot. They literally want to know, like they ask for a lot of requirements. You know how hard it is for me to acquire a visitor's visa in any country in the West. I tried it. Like, this is by experience, okay? They will literally ask you for land titles. They will ask you, like, it's like you are escaping war. It's like you are going to be a burden. It's like, no, we don't trust you, have the money. That only tells you how they see us as a people. They think we are liars. They think we're poor. They think we have nothing. But it's very, very easy for them to get our visas. Even some of them, some of them can actually enter these countries and get visas on arrival. But you, as a black person, like coming from, from the West, you may not be allowed to actually enter the country, like some of these countries, without a visa, like that you applied online. But they are given those advantages, and I know that is the reason as to why they take advantage of us. Again, disclaimer: not all tourists. I said I am talking about only those people that think Africa is a shitty hole. I know the sector of tourism must have been thrown back, but the good thing is the Ministry of Home Affairs came out to clarify, so if you are out there and you are a tourist, go. You can actually go. You're not being pushed away, but the people that stay in that country illegally, I feel like time has come, and you might not be able to actually take advantage of those people as you have been doing. And I want to applaud all the people of South Africa for, combining and putting their voices together for this. It only tells you that us as a people, our voices somehow are heard. I'm not saying all the leaders that we have in Africa are bad people. We've gotten some good leaders, but of course also some leaders have such a comfortable lifestyle. They really don't care about you, and all they care about is, their good lifestyle. They've made it to the position, so it is upon us as a people and as a group of people to collect and put our voices together. You never know who is gonna hear this, and then before you know, these countries, these governments of ours are going to consider these things, and they're going to put them out there, because you see now they are making it clear that after 180 days you cannot stay. If you have been denied, or if you haven't applied for the extension, and like your visa is still on and you haven't, please apply. You need to apply for that extension before your visa expires. And if it has expired and you applied and you were denied, then you're not needed in the country. So as you see, if these actions are put in place against such people, we're going to be taken as serious people, and these people are going to be very, very cautious when they come to these countries, and they are going to be very, very mindful of, how they treat people and how they stay in these countries. Yeah, I've had, stories of people in my own country, of some people that came as tourists, that, abuse people, that slap border men, that do weird stuff. So it's time for us as black people to come out here and put these things and let these people know we are not what you think we are. We are serious people, and we love our countries, and you're not going to disrespect us in our own countries. But otherwise, guys, what do you think of this video? Leave the comments down. Give this video a thumbs up if you consider it, good. And please recommend the channel if you haven't subscribed. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. That motivates me a lot always, and it keeps me going. And yes, guys, I'll see you in another one. God bless.